Peter Blexley, very good morning to you. I'm sorry to have to wake you up even earlier than we normally do for this, but, you know, it's worth it in the end.
It's an honour to be here and an honour to be in a studio with you, Mike. You know that.
You're very kind. Now, it is the day of reckoning. Even the Guardian calls it that. Front page of the Telegraph has got Nigel Farage telling Donald Trump, do not fight the poll result, because a lot of people think not only will it be close, but if it is close, it could go on for days. We might not get an actual result until perhaps early part of next week. The Times, for some bizarre reason, hasn't got it on the front page at all. But it really is the big thing. We're doing it tonight. It's going to be all over the place. We're going to have loads of great guests. It's going to be overnight with Mike Graham and Morning Glory. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, what I really liked about Nigel Farage's quotes in the paper today was that he'd said to Donald Trump, to his face, you know, do not contest the result if it's clear-cut.
Right.
Just accept it.
Yeah.
And he said he can do that because of the depth of their friendship.
Yes.
Well, I've got friendships like that.
Yeah.
Where I can say to a mate, oi, you.
Yeah.
You're acting like a complete clown.
Don't
behave yourself.
Yeah.
And vice versa, of course.
Yeah.
In fact, they say that more often to me than I do to them.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, true.
But listen,
So,
you know.
Yeah, so I really liked that their relationship, their friendship, has that depth. I think there's a lesson for many people to be learned there.
There is, but the trouble is it's so divided now in America. Even the media is divided. You can't even believe the polls. You can't believe the mainstream sort of TV networks because they've got access to grind. I mean, CNN have been in the past so soft on Kamala Harris, yet at the same time, you know, talking up the fact that, you know, Donald Trump's like the new Hitler reinvented. You've got, I think, Donald Trump yesterday declaring that he's actually suing CBS because they doctored one of the answers that she gave to a question to make her look better. It's extraordinary.
Dare I say it, you don't have to cross the Atlantic. I was scouring the channels yesterday, had a bit of time in the afternoon and the evening, knowing I was coming on here, trying to devour as much news as I possibly could. Some of the skewed and biased broadcasting by some of our allegedly esteemed media outlets is as bad as anything that's going on over the pond.
Surely you're not referring to the BBC by any chance?
Oh, and could I possibly mention Channel 4 and such like?
Right.
You know, surely not. But really, yeah, you've got to be so cautious.
You have. And we'll be coming back to the Donald Trump, Kamala Harris thing. At the moment, apparently, as we speak, Washington, D.C. is currently being boarded up because the National Guard has already been brought in to protect the White House because they know what happened on January the 6th. But there's no suggestion that necessarily that will happen. But it tells you how febrile the atmosphere is, doesn't it?
And they're on standby the length and breadth of the states, as I understand it.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Proud Boys have flexed their muscle a little bit. They were the lot that kind of got themselves aligned to Donald Trump and were responsible for much of the trouble on the 6th of January at Capitol Hill. But I sincerely hope that calm prevails. Yeah. That people understand that the kind of basis of democracy is that if you lose, you take it on the chin, lick your wounds, come back in 4 years' time or 5 years' time, whatever it is in whatever country you're in, and try and win again. Yeah. That's the whole point of it. If you start uprising because you simply don't agree with the result, then you are a banana republic. Yes. And in fact, with as many weapons as there are in the hands of people in America, that could be an extremely dangerous thing.
I've got a banana here, funnily enough. But this is not a banana republic. I want you to know this is indeed a place of fine journalism, and never, ever should the twain be crossed by, you know, bias that we could not admit to. Now, I've got something to show you, right? 4 years ago, this is Keir Starmer talking about tuition fees. You've got boys going through university, so you will know all about this. I've got a couple doing it as well. Here's what Keir Starmer said he was going to do about tuition fees.
What about university tuition fees, then? Will you remain committed to scrapping them in your first term?
Pledges, Andrew. So the answer to these questions is yes.
So university tuition fees being scrapped will be in a Starmer manifesto?
Yes, that's why it's
the next election. OK.
Now, not only has he not scrapped tuition fees, he's put them up. So what do you say about a man who continually says one thing and then does another?
Well, I think it's somewhat entertaining that it's going to cost young people. Good morning, kids, if you're awake.
No, they're not. Don't be
I
stupid.
didn't think they would.
I mean, the only chance of being awake is if they're still up from last night.
Yeah.
I got a message from one of my kids at 8:15 the other morning because we were going to try and have a bit of lunch, and he went, "I'm not going to lie, I've had a bit of a late night, so I don't think I'm going to see you for lunch." It was clearly he hadn't gone to bed yet.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
8:15.
The impetuosity of youth, it makes me pine for my earlier years. Anyway, it's going to cost them all now more to become a Marxist.
Yeah.
Which essentially is what uni is.
Yeah, it is.
They go to uni in the
Marxist
first year.
training camp.
Yeah, yeah. So in the first year they go there to sort of learn how to drink if they're not already kind of accomplished at that, and hopefully make some friends and sort of stand on their own 2 feet. Second year is dedicated to Marxist ideology.
They still bring the laundry home in the first year, though, aren't they?
Yeah. Marxist ideology is what they're dedicated to in the second year. And then in the third year, if they're doing a 3-year course, towards the end of it, it realises that they actually should do some work, but they've left it too late to get a first-class degree if they've not been grafted throughout. And, of course, the real world dawns upon them. The fact that they might have to go and get a job.
A job, heaven's sake, yeah. So this is the first hike in tuition fees in 8 years, right?
Yeah.
So the Tories have kept them flat. You might remember it was, I suppose it was David Cameron, wasn't it, and Nick Clegg who sort of put them in there in the first place. When magically, when Nick Clegg said before he got elected to the coalition cabinet, of course we'll do away with tuition fees and we won't allow them to be introduced. Turned out he wasn't right about that.
They're so consistent, these politicians, aren't they?
Yeah.
In saying one thing and doing something completely different.
And then, of course, his excuse was, well, the thing is, we didn't know we were going to be in government, and once you get into government, you have to make hard choices. This is what they say all the time, hard choices.
Hard choices.
Well, it's not very hard for them, is it?
No.
It's easy for them. The choices are hard for us, because we're the ones that have to pay through the nose.
Yep.
And so my kids now will be paying £9,500 every single year for tuition fees instead of £9,200, I think it is.
It's going up by about £300 a year,
right?
Each year. So over a 3-year course, say £900 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Just whack another grand onto the indebtedness that the children will leave uni with.
Yeah.
And as you say, all my 3 have been through uni.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got there's a lad who I know, he's almost like a son of mine, bless him, and he's gone down a completely different route, gone into employment for a very, very well-known global brand, and he's doing the equivalent of a degree course.
Oh, this is the intern.
Yeah. A degree apprenticeship.
Now, those are great, by the way.
He's on over 30k, at the age of 19.
Yeah.
Learning, will get a degree equivalent qualification at the end of it, and in all likelihood, employment.
Yeah.
So when he was out with his mates who have graduated, his brother and one of my son, in the boozer on Friday night, sitting around, who's the one who is sitting pretty, earning decent money, going to get a qualification and not saddled with tens upon tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt and riddled with Marxist ideology?
Yeah. Maybe not everyone in the Labour Party feels the same way. Let's see what Angela Rayner said about tuition fees, because maybe she didn't want to put them up.
And we will scrap tuition fees and bring back maintenance grants. Free education for all throughout your life. That is the prospect that they would have us believe is so terrifying.
Free education for all. Well done, Angela. We'd love that. Unfortunately, she's part of the same government that's just put tuition fees up. But Bridget Phillipson, the Education Secretary, you'll like this, has said that the decision to raise the fees to £9,535 next year had not been an easy decision.
No, hard decisions.
Not easy.
Hard decisions.
Pretty easy. It looks pretty easy. You just go, I'll tell you what, shall we do what we said we would do and get rid of tuition fees? Nah, let's just put them up. Well, don't you think you'll be accused of being a hypocrite? That doesn't matter. They do that every day. It's like literally the lie of the day. Yesterday, we had Rachel Reeves admitting to the fact that she shouldn't have told lies about what she was going to do in the budget. You know, she was wrong, she said, to suggest that she wasn't going to put taxes up.
Angela Rayner, bless her of free clobber from Lord Alley, of course, like others.
That's it.
Free education for life. Well, you know, you might get a bag for life out of a supermarket.
Yeah, that doesn't last for life either.
No, exactly.
Right.
So free education for life.
I mean, Angela Rayner, without wishing to be unkind, hasn't had any kind of education, never mind free education for life. She left school when she was about 7.
Well, I left at 16 and I can't claim to be particularly well educated myself either. But,
yeah, but at least you don't owe any money to the exchequer.
No, and I buy my own clothes.
And you buy your own clothes, absolutely right. Now, here's one that's going to scare the bejesus out of you. Have you ever seen those French farmers when they go to the local kind of police station or the mayor's office and completely cover it with merde, right?
Yes.
It looks like that's going to happen here. Farmers are threatening, says, stop spreading sludge on their land in protest at plans to impose inheritance tax on their estate. They're saying that they're going to have plans for a coordinated sewage strike, which means it would risk chaos for water treatment companies and create a mountain of sewage waste.
You know how it is sometimes when you're in the countryside, you're driving along and you think, well, I'll put the window down, and very quickly you go, I'll put the window back up because of that stench.
I went to a wedding once in Nottingham, right?
Yeah.
And we stayed in this very bijou kind of hotel, and apparently the local farmer hated the guy that ran the hotel, and so every weekend he would just spread slurry, so that, you know, if you opened a window, if you came out to go for breakfast, you were literally like choking on the kind of the smell that was coming from the fields. You know, don't tell me about the idyllic countryside.
And what this is, okay, it's actually human waste.
Yes.
Which has had the liquids drawn out of it.
Right.
And then what
Apologies,
is left...
it's a bit early in the morning for this.
Yeah, please, I'm sorry if you're having your cornflakes. So the liquid's taken out of it, and then what is left is this, essentially, sewage.
Shizer.
It's called bio something or other.
Bio-shizer.
And farmers collect 3.8 billion tonnes of it a year.
Right.
And spread it on agricultural
and they put it in those
land.
big sort of tankers, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's not going to be long before they turn up in Whitehall and start spraying it all over the Department of Environment, Fisheries and Food.
Well, you see, what the farmers are thinking of doing is not collecting it. So then, of course, it will be stockpiled by the water companies, and we all know how well they perform, don't we?
Crikey. So in addition to polluting our rivers and seas, they actually already take a load of it out before they pollute the rivers and seas.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, the farmers do the water companies a huge favour.
Is there anything the water companies can do? Is there anything they can do at all which is in any use to man or beast? Presumably not.
I'm not sure.
Biosolids. Yeah.
Biosolids.
I wish I didn't know about that. You've told me something I wish I didn't know about, but thank you.
I'm really
Peter Blexley's an absolute fund of information on this stuff.